Welcome back. Last time we talked about what the Bible is and how it got to us. We learned that it wasn't written by one person in one place at one time. It was written by many different people across a very long period of time in languages that most of us don't speak, and somehow across all of that it survived and reached us. Today we're going one step further. Because here is something most people never get told. Owning a Bible and knowing how to read a Bible are two very different things. Many of us have had a Bible in our house our whole lives, but nobody ever sat us down and said, okay, here is how this book actually works. Here is how to open it and understand what you are reading. So that is what we are doing today. In simple, plain language, how do you actually read the Bible? The first and most important thing is this: always read around the verse. Here is what I mean. Most of us were taught the Bible one verse at a time. A pastor reads one line, and the whole sermon is built on that one line, or we see a verse on social media, and we save it, and we hold on to it. And there is nothing wrong with loving a verse, but a verse is like one piece of a puzzle. If you only look at one piece, you might think, you know the picture, but you don't. Not yet. Every verse sits inside a paragraph. That paragraph sits inside a chapter. That chapter sits inside a book. And that book sits inside the bigger story of the entire Bible. To really understand what a verse means, you have to look at what comes before it and what comes after it. Let me give you a simple example. There is a very popular verse, Jeremiah 29 verse 11. You have probably seen it before. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to give you hope and a future." People put that verse on their walls. They quote it when life gets hard, and it is a beautiful verse. But if you read the verses around it, you discover something interesting. God was talking to a specific group of people, the Israelites, who had just been taken away from their home country as prisoners. And God was telling them, you are going to be in this foreign land for 70 years. 70 years is not a short time. He was not saying everything will be fine tomorrow. He was saying, even in this long and painful season, I have not forgotten you. That is actually a deeper and more powerful message than the version most people quote, but you only get that message when you read around the verse. So the habit is simple: before you hold on to a verse, read the 10 verses before it and the 10 verses after it. Just that one habit will change everything. The second thing is to ask one simple question before you read anything: what kind of writing is this? The Bible contains many different types of writing. Some of it is history, the things that actually happened, recorded like a news report. Some of it is law, the rules God gave to a specific people at a specific time. Some of it is poetry, the songs and prayers full of deep feeling and beautiful language. Some of it is letters that was written by people like Paul to specific churches dealing with specific problems. And some of it is prophecy, which is a whole conversation on its own. Why does this matter? Because you read different types of writing differently. When you read a poem, you don't treat every word as a fact. If someone writes "the mountains sang for joy," you don't ask which mountains and what song they sang. You feel what the writer is feeling. You understand it is beautiful language expressing something real. But if you read it like a history report, you get confused. And if you read a history report like a poem, you also get confused. The Bible has all of these types of writing inside it, and one of the most common mistakes people make is reading one type of writing as if it were another type. So before you read a passage, take a moment to ask, what kind of writing is this? Is this a story? A song? A letter? A law? Just asking that question will help you understand it better. The third thing is to remember that the Bible was written for real people in a real world that is very different from ours. When Paul wrote a letter to the church in Corinth, he was writing to real people in a real city, dealing with real problems that were happening in their time. When Moses wrote down the laws of Israel, he was writing for a specific nation, living in a specific place, at a specific point in history. This doesn't mean the Bible has nothing to say to us today. It absolutely does. But it means we have to be careful not to just pick up any verse and immediately apply it to our lives without asking who was this written for and what was going on in their world. Think of it this way: if you found an old letter in your grandmother's house, written by a relative you never met, to someone you don't know, you could still read it and be moved by it. You might even find wisdom in it, but you would understand it better if you knew a little about who wrote it and why. The Bible is the same way. The fourth thing, and this one is very personal, is to be okay with not understanding everything. This is something I really want you to hold on to. You do not have to have an answer for every question the Bible raises. You do not have to pretend that everything is clear when it isn't. Some parts of the Bible are genuinely difficult. Some things scholars have debated for hundreds of years without a final answer. Some passages are confusing even when you read them in the original language, and that is okay. What we do on this channel is simple. If we understand something clearly, we hold it and we stand on it. If something is unclear, we keep looking, we keep asking questions, we keep thinking, and if something remains confusing after all of that, we leave it open without fear, without shame, and without pretending. The Bible is a deep book. Nobody understands all of it perfectly, and anyone who tells you they do is not being honest with you. So here is a simple checklist to carry with you every time you open your Bible. Read around the verse, don't just read one line in isolation. Ask what kind of writing you are looking at. Remember who the original audience was, and give yourself permission to not have all the answers. That is it. Those 4 simple habits will make you a more honest and more careful reader than most people you will ever meet. In the next video, we are going to open the Bible together for the first time. We are going to start with the Gospel of John, and we are going to look at how Jesus described himself in his own words in the text itself. Not what people say he said, what the text actually says. I think you are going to find it very interesting. If this video helped you, share it with someone. Leave your questions in the comments and take your time. There is no rush here. We are building something that is meant to last. I will see you in the next one.